Hello everyone and welcome back to another F124 driver career mode video with Enzo Fittipaldi. We are here with season 1 round 14 and the Belgian Grand Prix. If you missed the video that went live a couple days ago, obviously I don't even recommend you go and watch it. It was a pretty terrible performance from us. Yeah, we got 2 time penalties. Yeah, ended up finishing 16th. Gasly got 11th. No points scored for Alpine. It was honestly just a terrible, terrible weekend. So hopefully we can bounce back here at Spa and do something a little bit better. Obviously, we're not really up there with those top 5 teams yet in the R&D, and we don't have enough R&D points anyway to apply an upgrade before Spa. So let's just go ahead and look at the performance here. In the performance chart, I mean. We're making our way up towards those top 5 teams, us and VCarb, but we're not quite there. Still a pretty massive gap from us. It's Mercedes and Ferrari really starting to make no progress late in the, well, midway through the year, as we're about to hit the summer break, of course, after Spa. Yeah, Carlos Sainz had a chance to win a championship, and Ferrari has just let him down in terms of development. They really have not been able to bring the upgrades they need to the car. So, yeah, hopefully we can bring upgrades ourselves and get closer to those top 5 teams before the year ends. Now let's hop on into practice for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Fully immersed in the beautiful Ardennes forest in Belgium, surely one of the most iconic tracks of them all, it's practice time here at Spa-francorchamps.
Here we are for our first lap of practice here at Spa in the track acclimation practice program. Obviously, Spa is a track everyone loves. I mean, maybe not everyone, but I don't know. I feel like in an F1 car, this track is always good fun. Even in the GT3s, things like that. As, yeah, we're just trying to get ourselves acclimated with the track here. We couldn't use the hard compound, and I wanted to save the medium compound for the race strategy practice program, as somehow we didn't quite pass that gate for some reason. Oh, and we missed that one, so we're probably going to have to do a second run for our purple score. Or a second lap, I should say. Gonna be close to get the purple score here. Not sure if we're gonna get it. Gotta try to get these last few purple corner gates here. Hit the DRS at the perfect time. Just got it for our first purple score of the weekend. Here we are for our race strategy practice program and our first laps on the mediums, which will most likely be the prime race tire. We may also run the softs. I'm not exactly sure what the strategy is going to be. It's only a 15 lap race, so obviously Spa only being 44 laps at 100%. It's a rather short race lap wise because it's just such a long track. But yeah, the mediums are most likely going to be our prime race tire. A little bit less grips than the softs, but they still feel really good. Massively up on the delta so far this lap. Like usual, we're not using any overtake or DRS to get an accurate representation for the race strategy. Yeah, hopefully the next 2 laps go like this and we can secure our second purple score of the weekend. Unfortunately, only managed a green score in our fuel saving practice program. But yeah, we get our second purple score here, and that'll be not quite maximum resource points for the team, but definitely good resource points, as we have to bring as many upgrades as we can if we want to catch those top 5 teams. Well, we're a second up. We've used up all the time in practice here. Practice is officially over. They are allowing us to complete our lap, fortunately. We did invalidate that 3rd lap, just went a little bit wide and caught our left tire in one of the gravel traps. The lap still would have been quick enough, they just actually invalidated it, so quite unfortunate, but we are going to get our second purple score of the weekend.
High-speed straights, heady elevation changes and dramatic corners. What is there not to love about today? It's qualifying day here at Spa-francorchamps.
Here we are for the first lap of qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. A new patch for F1 did go live today. And yeah, apparently the AI does use overtake in quali now, officially for sure. It's 100% confirmed, so that is good news. We can officially use our overtake and battery to its fullest extent. And so should the AI, so the qualifying times should be a little bit harder to beat for us. 1:44.2. P4, ahead of Ricardo, 2/10 off Alonso. Yeah, I don't know how representative or how competitive that actually is. Well, I went ahead and simmed on through the rest of the way, and that lap of a 1:44.205 was enough to carry us through to Q2. And Pierre Gasly just made it through as well by only half a tenth, but yeah, that's both the Alpines through to Q2. And no big shockers out in Q1, both the Saubers, the Haas of Nico Hülkenberg, actually both the Haas's, and then of course Logan Sargent. So now hopefully we can get it hooked up into Q2 and make our way into Q3. Here we are for the final lap of Q2. I went out and set a banker on the used softs, so we do have a representative delta. It was pretty competitive too, honestly, as it was quicker than Lewis Hamilton's banker. It is now down to P12 though, as the track is ramping up. Everyone's picking up, and we're gonna have to find time here if we want to see ourselves through to Q3. Obviously we'll just find time and grip with this new set, hopefully, as long as we can maximize it. So we are extra committed through that corner,
and we've dropped to P12.
It helped us on the exit. Got good rotation, a lot better rotation through that corner that time on the new tires. Same as through that corner, as we're already 3.5 tenths up on the delta here. Give it a slight lift just because I didn't want to invalidate. You can take that corner flat out, but I don't want to risk it here and get an invalidation, as I was a little safe going into that corner there. Got a good
2 minutes
exit
remaining
there.
in the session. We need a good lap here or we're out of qualifying. Come on.
Oh yeah, 8 tenths up on our lap. Using the battery here. The delta's climbing. We're getting a slipstream here from Lance Stroll, who's going to pull out of the way. Absolutely beautiful from the Canadian driver there. Thank you, Lance. As we're now almost a second up on the delta. Brake as late as we can, as there's a gaggle of cars ahead of us all pulling into the pits. And let's see what we can do. Open the DRS. 1 second up, and it's P2. A 1:43.3. Obviously the AI though picks up speed as the sessions go on, so I don't know if we're gonna have the speed for P2 once we get into Q3 and they all start to really pick up. But yeah, no Pierre Gasly. Unfortunately, he didn't pick up on his first time, and yeah, he's P14. George Russell just snuck in. Lewis Hamilton didn't pick up either, as he is out. The 7-time world champion out in Q2 and starting P13 on the grid. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy Q3 here, so let's see what we can do. Here we are for our final run of Q3. Got to hang it all on the line, try to be as committed as possible here. Gain time wherever we can. Had a little bit better corner there than the time before. We did set a banker on the new softs, because we did allow ourselves 2 new sets of softs for Q3 because we had such a solid Q1 and Q2, honestly. So yeah, now we just need to try to put down a really good lap here. Purple in Sector 1. Don't know if that's going to hold though. I'm sure it probably won't, as we lost a lot of time there, but we're gaining on the exit. Two and a half tenths up, but we're going to need to find more if we want a top 5 here. I got my right tire in the grass there, and that did not help. Also, it looks like we're gonna maybe run into some last traffic here. We cut it real close there. Oh, and then we go wide in that corner, and that's gonna kill our lap. We're somehow still a 10th and a half up. If we'd have nailed that corner, we could have been up by a ton. Yeah, unfortunate. Looks like we drained a lot more battery down this straight as the Delta is just absolutely falling for us. Gotta be committed into this last corner. Oh, a little bit of a drift. On the exit, be committed. A 10th and a half. P4. Let's go. One of our best qualifying efforts of the year.
Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Max Verstappen grabs pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix as we put in a mega qualifying effort and grab ourselves 4th place. Yeah, I mean, I have to be thrilled with that. With the pace of the car, yeah, I mean, our teammate all the way back in P14 to outperform him by that much is just insane. It really makes you wonder if the AI is using overtake in quali. Yeah, I'm probably not going to use the overtake for the next qualifying session in Zandvoort and see if it's a little bit closer to Pierre Gasly, because obviously when we use overtake here, we are just miles ahead of our teammate, which isn't realistic. Pierre is a pretty good driver. So let's hop on into the Belgian Grand Prix here, and hopefully we can capitalize on this strong starting position. Before we go ahead and hop on into the Grand Prix, I actually am going to apply an upgrade to our rotor speed, which is going to help our ERS recovery, which will be huge. It will, as long as it passes, it will come on right before Baku, and it'll just put us really close to Aston Martin in the race for the best engine. As yeah, Renault went from being the worst engine at the start of the year to now really being one of our strong suits. So hopefully that can continue, and we can develop the chassis and aerodynamics as well. So now let's hop on into the Grand Prix.
Welcome to this visit to the Ardennes countryside. Spa-Francorchamps hosted its first Grand Prix back in 1925, and this historic track is loved by drivers and fans alike, and us here in the commentary box too. So it's a warm welcome from the Belgian Grand Prix. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners, and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high-quality racing as well. Simply put it, there's no place quite like it. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Fittipaldi, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Stroll, Norris, Tsunoda, Albon, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Joe, Sainz, Sargent, Magnussen, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y, or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
Here we are on the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix after an insane qualifying by us, putting the car all the way up in P4. Obviously not one of the top 5 teams. To put this car in the top 5 is yeah, just a work of art, honestly. Again, we don't quite know if the ERS system is we're supposed to be using it or not. Supposedly in the patch, it says that the AI is supposed to be using it. Didn't look like it to me as I smoked my teammate and put it in P4. Looks like they actually are not using it. So maybe next week we're going to stop using it. Well, definitely next week I'm going to stop using it and see if we're a little bit closer to Gasly's pace. As for the strategy, though, I think I am going to start on the medium compound tire and then go to the softs later in the race and really try to try to go for that overcut and have the better tire later in the race. So let's see if that works out for us.
Here we go then. The formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out.
Oh, not everyone electing to start on the same compound. What a refreshing change, as 3 of us in the top 10 starting on the harder compound.
We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Yeah, we elected to start on the mediums, hopefully going long, trying to allow ourselves to have those better tires at the end of the race will be the right call. Yeah, no telling really if the undercut will be stronger or the overcut, but yeah, we're gonna go with the harder compound, get those out of the way, and hopefully really be able to cut into the deficit and make up the passes late in the race. As here we are under those 5 red lights, and it's lights out for the Belgian Grand Prix, as Charles Leclerc is going to look to take it 3 wide into turn 1, not quite able to stick his nose in there, as we are 3 wide, myself with Russell and Perez, as Russell, the big winner there, able to move his way up to 4th position. Not going to be able to look into his inside there in a Rouge. I thought of it, but thought better. And it's lights out, and away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix as Max Verstappen and Fernando Alonso both get a pretty good launch off the line, and they go side by side into turn 1 as Fernando Alonso is able to get the better of the Dutchman there. Can he one up his position last week and actually come away with his first win of the year here? Gonna grab his slipstream here, use our battery. He blocks to the outside. We're going to go to the inside and just drive right by him. Absolutely massive by us as they're almost 3 wide there into the S's as Fernando Alonso wants to take the lead away from Max Verstappen here early. As, yeah, we really need to stay with these 3 soft runners. Obviously, George Russell's my rival, so finishing ahead of him will be crucial. Yeah, and then Fernando Alonso really able to stay with Max here, as Charles is kind of struggling to stay with those top 2. But Fernando really able to just stay right on that rear diffuser.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push.
The rear diffuser of that Red Bull as, yeah, will the Spaniard be able to grab a win here and finally end Max Verstappen's streak? Leclerc is not able to stay with those guys ahead. We're able to hang with him quite nicely, though, as obviously the Ferrari only the 4th fastest car, whereas the Red Bull and Aston Martin are the 2 fastest cars on the grid. So, yeah, it's looking like it's just going to be a 2-way battle for that win, unless a safety car intervenes or something. But we may have something to say about the last podium position, as long as we can keep a nice clean race here and drive our strategy to perfection. Gonna look to get a good run here. Almost run into the back of Leclerc there. That's gonna kind of hinder our exit. We're gonna use a lot of battery here. I don't want to quite use it all though, so I'm gonna try to save some. And oh, we're gonna try to get by Leclerc as I got a little bit of rear, I don't know, rear oversteer there, as we are running quite a real low rear wing angle. I cannot speak for some reason as we're going to the outside of Charles Leclerc and we make the move stick. Oh, and Charles runs us off the road. Here's another look at our perfectly executed pass on the Monegasque driver of Charles Leclerc as we use the DRS to go around the outside, keep it clean, leave him enough space, and we complete the move. But then he just wants the position back, sends it in, and yeah, he just sends us right off the track almost. Luckily, we're able to keep it collected and maintain the position ahead of George Russell. Oh my god, the Monegas really does not want to give up the position, as now that's going to leave us vulnerable to George Russell. But we're able to hopefully
Battery
hold
charge
him
is
off
high.
there
Let's
as we
use
go.
that overtake button a bit more.
As we go defensive. Yeah, now we do need to try to reel back in Charles Leclerc. I can tell Charles's softs have fallen off quite a bit. He's quite easy to keep up with. We're going to need to really get by him this next upcoming lap, as we want any chance to catch the two ahead. That's probably a pipe dream, honestly, but obviously this is a race and we need to go for every position we can get. As you never know, when they're battling, maybe that'll open up an opportunity for us. We need to get a good exit here. Get as close to the rear diffuser of Charles Leclerc as we can. That was a pretty good exit. That's the closest we've been. We're already right on his rear diffuser through a Rouge. Plus we'll have the slipstream and the DRS. This one's going to be an easy pass, as he's going to go to the outside. We're going to go to his inside. He's going to use his battery. You can tell it really is just a drag race.
Okay, Enzo, we've got high reserves of VRS, so let's try and use some more.
The straight line speed on that Ferrari is just something to behold, as now we need to try to break his DRS. We've already broke his DRS here. Gotta use our battery down this straight to really try to drive it home. But as long as we don't make any mistakes, we should have the pace to maybe pull away from these guys behind, which is going to be huge. They are probably going to be pulling into the pits any lap now, as we're only predicted to do 6 laps on those softs at the end of the race. So, yep, as the soft runners
Okay, we're
are pulling
approaching
in.
the pit window. You're going to be on softs.
Verstappen and Alonso pitting this lap. Gotta try to maximize these laps here. Get undercut as little as possible. Well, the gap to Perez and Piastri is up to 3.5 seconds. And I still have a pretty good battery level here. They're the closest estimate I have as to how my pace is doing on this run. So, yeah, we should be pitting at the end of this upcoming lap, though, here. A pretty good stint from our side. We just gotta hopefully now maximize the soft tires.
Okay, well, it wasn't to be this time, but not to worry. There's a long way to go in this race, so let's focus.
The question's gonna be, how much of an undercut did they get? As I tried to put as much pace into these last few laps as I could. But yeah, obviously they're gonna be on newer mediums, so they're gonna be rapid. Hopefully not too much of an undercut on us. Has got to be careful in this pit entrance. Not too bad by us. Hopefully not too bad of an undercut here. Let's see where we come out. We will have new softs. Everyone else will be on the mediums. So,
Okay, mate,
it'll
that's
be
it.
interesting.
Go.
Go.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
So not used to that pit exit. As we come out just in front of Lance Stroll, thank God. And right behind Charles Leclerc. Obviously they did get the undercut on us, but that is okay. We have a lot newer tires. All is into play here. As Lance Stroll
Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
just flies right by me there. I need to get by Lance Stroll as fast as I
If you think
can
you can
here.
get past, make use of the overtake button and see what you can do.
We went a little bit wide there. We're going to use the overtake here, and we're going to try to get by Lance Stroll. Sweep around his outside. Oh, he's going to give us no room. We're going to make sure we give him the space, though. We go side by side through there. What? Wow! Lance Stroll braked so late right there, and he's able to hold us off. And he gets the DRS there. That's crazy. What a move by the Canadian driver there. You don't hear that often. We're going to need to try to make our move here. We got to get by. Oh, we go to the outside. Little dummy move. Oh, we squeeze him a little bit and we're able to make it stick. Beautiful. Now we need to
Enzo,
put these
we're
softs
seeing a lot
to
of
use.
tyre wear in the data. Please focus on looking after your tyres.
We need to get a good exit here. We just don't have enough battery, though, to go defensive on Lance Stroll, unfortunately. He's probably going to get us here down this long straight. We do have a massive gap. We're going to try to break the toe here. He's going to open the DRS. He won't be close enough. Nice. We don't quite have the pace to catch those guys up ahead. Quite frustrating, because we had the pace early to stay with Charles. I guess the softs just really aren't as good as we were hoping they were going to be, unfortunately.
Yellow flag.
As yellow flags are out,
Okay,
yellow
be aware
flags
there's
are
an
out.
incident in the next part of the
Looks
track.
like someone-
No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Looks like someone's breaking down, and they're saying no overtaking as I'm getting passed by Lance Stroll. What is the Canadian driver doing here? As
That
now...
move was illegal, I'm afraid, mate. Return the position, give it back. Here's
What?
some information on Russell for you. They're retiring from the race.
Okay. That's crazy. The game is actually rigged, as we just got a position stolen from us by Lance Stroll, as George Russell out of the race here late in the day, losing a chance at a podium here in Spa. Can we get back the position we got stolen from us from the Canadian driver? As, oh my god, Lando Norris gets an insane run with the battery. I mean, we had DRS, but he just drained his overtake right there and was able to just fly right by us. I didn't quite think he'd get that good of a run, so I didn't go too defensive. I thought us having the DRS would be enough to hold off the British driver, but unfortunately it was not. Lando Norris is right on the rear diffuser of Lance Stroll here. He wants to find a way by. And obviously so do I, so it's gonna be interesting. Three-way battle for 4th place here. Late on in the day. Don't think a podium is gonna be on the cards, but maybe we can pull out 4th position here. Is we're gonna try to do a double overtake here, hopefully on Lance Stroll. Use the DRS, both of us, so just fly right by him. Grabbing a slipstream on the British driver here. As I don't know if Lando's gonna get close enough. We may just make our way by the British driver here, as Lance Stroll had a pretty big gap to Lando there. We're able to make our way by the McLaren again. Now the question's going to be is, can we get by Lance Stroll? We do have newer tires than him, but they are the softer compound that does wear quicker, so I feel like by now they're about even, most likely. Final lap right here. We've saved up our battery through Eau Rouge. We're going to have the DRS, the overtake. Can Lance Stroll hold us off? He's really going to have nothing, no chance. We're just going to have so much overspeed. We're going to drive right by the Canadian and get to the racing line. As we set a purple Sector 1 there, obviously, with just so much overspeed. Here's another look at us grabbing the slipstream, using the DRS and overtake to make our way by Lance Stroll, as he really is able to do nothing, as we just have so much extra speed. And now we just need to stay clean and tidy and bring this thing home in P4. Here we go. Here's that last final run. Can Stroll or Norris have enough battery to make it by? I still have 40%. I think I've managed my battery well enough. I'm going to be able to hold him off as Max Verstappen continues his streak and is able to hold off Fernando Alonso. Man, it's really just another Max Verstappen special this year in 2024 as we bring it home in P4.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Lando Norris, driver of the day. We know everyone loves to give the British driver that.
The checkered flag is out. We're going to be hearing that Dutch national anthem again because it's victory for Max Verstappen.
And you'd have to say, Crofty, it's just turning into a bit of a formality, isn't it, for them? They're turning up, they're getting another race win. This is now 4 in a row, and they're starting to get that stranglehold on the championship, it's got to be theirs, isn't it? You'd have to say at this point.
I do agree. The championship is looking like it's going to be Max Verstappen's.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
Aston Martin now has the second best car, and Fernando Alonso showing that he is still capable of maximizing a good car when he is given it. Well, there you have it. Another Max Verstappen masterclass as he finishes 6.5 seconds ahead of Fernando Alonso and 9 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc, who rounds out the podium. We were challenging for that podium, the last spot on the podium, but we had a great first stint, but our second stint, we got caught behind Lance Stroll, and those most important laps on the softs were those first couple laps, and I really could have maximized the pace, and we weren't able to utilize them. Just quite unfortunate, as Pierre Gasly, after taking a grid penalty, only able to make his way up to P18, so a struggle for him this weekend, as Max Verstappen now leads by 105 points over Carlos Sainz. At this point, it's Max's championship, and the battle is now for P2. Will it be Carlos Sainz, or will the Ferrari really blunder his championship opportunity and he fall all the way back to 3rd or 4th? Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, as now we're only 2 points behind George Russell, who is obviously our championship rival, so we do need to get more points than him and beat him, and we're gunning for a Mercedes seat, so we're obviously trying to finish ahead of the young British driver. As for the constructors, Red Bull and Ferrari still the closest. It is a battle for the constructors. Carlos Sainz has no chance to win the drivers, but Ferrari can most definitely win the constructors. But they're going to need to bring upgrades. They have the 4th fastest car. As for us, I don't think we're going to be able to challenge for 5th with Aston Martin bringing so many upgrades and having such a quick car at this point. And I don't think we're going to lose 6. So I think we're just stuck in 6th place here. Yeah, unless we're able to bring a lot of upgrades. But even then, we're going to need Aston and Mercedes to really struggle. So I think it's just P6 in the constructors is what we're going to have to expect this year. Yeah, thank you to everyone who watched the video. It was a great drive by us. Please like and subscribe and have a great day.